that's light is hitting it and bouncing right back at you, is going to be much brighter. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is just when it's full, the maximum amount of area to reflect light from the sun back onto the earth is available. So one is the angle's a much more direct reflection, and two, you just have more area than you would at any other phase of the moon.
During the full moon, it's so bright that it obscures fainter objects in the night sky. Many astronomers put their telescopes away during this phase and wait for it to go away. When the moon is highly illuminated, it reflects.
I'm just going to stop it there because we don't need to watch the whole video. So after the video, I would emphasize some main points from the video. So talking about how the moon doesn't produce its own light. Like many think, it reflects the light that the sun emits. So that's the connection of the two words, to light. And then also go into like most things don't actually produce their own light. They reflect off, so even like in this room, like the table doesn't produce its own light, things like that. So the CHU activity I have for this segment is a worksheet for the students to fill out as they walk around the school. So I would hand it out to them, and I'll show you, this is the, if you can see it. So there's a few different sections on it for them to find an object. So they need to record where the object is, what it is, and if it reflects or emits light, and then how they know that. So if it has like a source or if it doesn't have a source, things like that. And then before I let the students free, I would get them into pairs. So then it's not a big group of students, and then just remind them to be respectful because there's still classes in session before they go. And then I would also go through an example with the students. So this is one example I had on my lesson plan. So we found something in our science classroom. It's the computer screen, and it emits light because it uses electricity. So that's kind of an example, so they know what I'm expecting for it. And then that comes to the end of my lesson. So for closure, I have a little bit of a game set up. So I have flashcards made for some vocabulary because there was a lot of new vocabulary in this lesson. So I would get 2 students to come up at a time and then show them a word, and they have to guess what the definition is. So I have 12 different flashcards for that. And then as another closure activity, I had 2 to kind of over-plan to make sure that there's enough. But then if there isn't, then we could do this activity at the beginning of next class as like a open up, see if they remember. And then for the other closure activity, I have a stoplight card. So I would print this off and cut it in half. So each student has one. So they write their name, and then they color in where they are with the lesson. So if they don't understand, they sort of understand it, or if they understand. Just so I have a general idea.
I like that.
And then at the beginning of next lesson, I can go over things if they don't understand.
Where'd you find that extra card?
I just used it as an example from like Brett's class, but I made this one. So I just got an image, and then, yeah. And then for next class, I have review vocabulary with the Quizlet cards, and then we'll discuss some more vocabulary related to light.
Awesome.